All right, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Young Mom's Perspective. I am your host, Shauna J. As always, it is a pleasure to be here. Now, I'm going to let y'all know in advance this episode may be a little noisy. I have a special visitor with me here today, and I love you too. He insists on making his special appearance, so here we are. Sometimes you just got to get things done. Um, so, in the first two episodes, we talked a lot about what to expect when you're expecting, but what happens when baby actually gets here? What happens after birth? What can you expect then? Or how should you feel, once your child actually gets here? How are you going to handle all of those emotions? So, that's what we're going to cover in this week's episode. This little guy is something else. So once you actually, have baby, there's a 2-week period where you're not really supposed to do anything but love on baby. Now, because I had Judah at home, our process was a little bit different. I was able to just be in the bed and stay in the bed for my 2 weeks, but sometimes it can be a little different when you are coming from the hospital, and that process may look a little different. So if that was something that you experienced, please let me know in the comment section below. But let's get into this episode. So after birth, when you are at home with your baby, there is so much, so many different feelings that you are experiencing. You're trying to get adjusted to being a new mom. Your body just went through the craziest experience. Stop, Judah. Your body just went through the craziest experience ever, and now you have to get adjusted to having a little person in your life. So how are you supposed to feel? I don't think there's any right guide to it, but any advice that I could offer, I would say just embrace that moment and be happy with the fact that now your baby is earthside and you can interact. There's a lot of bonding that happens in those first 2 weeks that baby is born. Kyle and I did a lot of skin-to-skin contact with Judah, and I think now it's starting to show a little bit because he is just so, I don't want to use the word clingy, but he is like, he wants to be near us quite often. And it shows in the way that, he's really always like trying to be up under us. And I think a lot of that has to do with the skin to skin contact that we did, really in the first few months that he was born. So I think all of that time in the 2 weeks, take that and, process the healing that's supposed to happen for your body, and, try and regain a sense of independency, because now you're no longer, carrying somebody inside of your womb. You are your own person again. So I think trying to reframe your mindset about trying to be an individual again, that is what you need to do in that time. I was so caught up in, being a new mom and just so happy that Judah was here that I didn't even think like, wow, I'm my own person again. I was still like I was so worried about him that I completely forgot about me for a second. And I think that 2-week period where you're like involved with absolutely nothing, that is a good time for you to really like try and deep dive into your new adjustment of being yourself again and having your baby. I definitely think loving on baby, that was probably the best part for me. Just the little snuggles and watching him sleep. And that's another thing, they tell you to sleep when baby is asleep, but that's not realistic. Circumstances are different for everybody, and not everybody has the type of support system where they can, just have people coming over to the house to help them with baby. So one thing that I probably would suggest, if you are somebody that doesn't really have the best support system, um, try and start a routine early where you can, kind of gauge when baby is going to be asleep, and, you know, stagger those nap times, because when your baby is a newborn, they sleep almost every 2 hours. Um, they eat, poop, and sleep. That's all they do. So take that time and try and create a schedule for yourself. You can take one of those nap times and prepare some food for throughout the day. Another nap time, you actually go to sleep with baby, and then when they fall asleep again, you can do household stuff like cooking, cleaning, laundry, whatever else needs to be done. That is the perfect time to try and, again, find a sense of individuality and create a good routine for yourself. I understand some people are like, fly by the wind, they get up and go, but when you have a child, it really becomes imperative that you try and get some sort of structure into your day to day, because it can get hectic quick. And I learned that fast with Judah. Yes, I'm talking about you, boo boo. It started to become apparent that, like, okay, I need to try and get some type of routine going. Otherwise, we are just going to be looking at each other crazy. Neither one of us is properly washed up. We hungry. Like, it was so much that I was happy once I started to get into the groove of things. So creating a routine while they're little, that'll definitely be helpful in the long run. Now, Judah has a really great support system. We have a very, very big village, and after he was born, it was so helpful to me having my mom and my sister come over. And when they were there, it wasn't like, okay, we just gonna be here and spend time with Judah. Like, my mom, I when I tell y'all I have the best mom in the world, like, that lady is a superhero. She was coming over, washing my clothes. She was washing Kyle's stuff, like folding our laundry for us, washing the baby stuff, making, food for us. She was meal prepping for me. That meal prep, y'all, something that is so necessary. Like, if you are somebody that knows that you're not going to be able to cook during that time, girl, meal prep, please, because that will save you so much time. Yes. So they would come over, watch the baby. I was, exclusively breastfeeding, but I also quickly got adjusted to pumping and making sure that I had milk for other people to feed him as well, because that is a labor of love. So when he was, in the care of others, they were able to give him bottles and stuff like that. And, my mom and my sister were really great about making sure that, not only was Judah being properly cared for, but me as well. And I think that's something that kind of, the mothers start to get a little neglected after baby gets born, because then it becomes baby. But, like, y'all, I carried this human for 9 months, and, this is still about me too. So I really appreciated them for that and everything that they did during that time period, because, that's not something that they had to do, but because of the love that they had for me and for my baby and for Kyle, that's what they did. So this brings me to my next topic. If people are going to come over and they want to visit you and baby, put them to work. Like, give them a list of chores. Have a chore list on the door, so as soon as they walk in, y'all can see, hey, this is stuff that I need help with. If you are going to be coming over to visit me and baby, please assist with something. I think that would have probably been one of my biggest pet peeves if it was just like, okay, we're gonna come over and visit baby and dip out. Like, just offer a little bit of assistance with something when you are, in the presence of a mom that just gave birth. Because that time period is supposed to be for her to, connect with her child and be able to experience all of the greatness that is motherhood. And when you have so many other things on your brain, it starts to cloud that happiness a little bit. So definitely don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it, and tell people like, hey, there's laundry that can be done, there's dishes that could be done, you know um if you don't want them to touch your clothes, babies, I'm telling you, baby clothes, burp cloths, all of that stuff can be washed. Like there's always something that they can offer some assistance with, so don't be afraid to ask for that. So Kyle and I were actually talking about push gifts a couple weeks ago, and I told him that I really, really, really would appreciate, like, somebody coming in to clean the house, or having like somebody meal prep, a chef like meal prep meals for me after the new baby gets here. And it wasn't until experiencing everything that I experienced with Judah that don't touch that I finally realized that a lot of this stuff is like, you can ask for help with, and you shouldn't be afraid to ask for help with that. Like, giving somebody a baby is that's a very huge thing. So originally, like, I've always been kind of weird about accepting gifts from significant others, so I never really wanted to like ask Kyle for stuff. But I don't know, I think after having our baby, could you not, thank you, after having our baby, I was kind of like, okay, this is the stuff that I wish I would have had help with during the first pregnancy. So now I'm like, yeah, if we can get somebody in here to clean the house or make some food, that would be cool. I would be absolutely fine with that. Because I think there's this weird, like, stigma around push gifts, and that they have to be something super extravagant. And that's not the case, because that's not everybody's situation. Like, when people are getting cars and jewels and all this other stuff for push gifts, I'm like, bro, that's not realistic for the everyday person. Like, please do not let social media gather your thoughts on what you should be receiving as a push gift. Like, if somebody gives you something simple like, oh, hey, here's a gift card to go get a massage, be grateful for that. Like, that's a very great push gift, because you need that. Like, stuff that you don't think about actually needing during that afterbirth time period, that is exactly what you need in that moment. Like, I didn't realize until I was fully in becoming a mom that it was so much stuff that I wish I could have delegated to somebody else. So be grateful for everything. And just, overall, just loving the fact that you're experiencing something new. That in itself is super exciting. Like, hi, Judah, could you not touch that? And you got animal crackers on your hands. Yes, you do. Just being excited about where you are, what you're doing, and just understand that you're not going to have everything all figured out, and that is okay. That is why there is a community here, Healthy Mommy Network, for understanding that you have to take stuff day by day. Shoot, take it hour by hour if you need to, but there are people that care, and there are people that are willing to help you through this process. So if nobody has told you yet today, you're doing amazing, sweetie. You got this mom thing under control, and you're going to get through it. We are evolving to nurture. We are evolving in ourselves, evolving in motherhood, and being able to be the best version of ourselves for our babies. So with that being said, I am your host, Shauna J. As always, it was a pleasure to have you guys here with me. Things, got a little hectic today, but I appreciate you guys bearing with me. I'm so grateful to be in this spot, being able to, share my experiences in the hopes that it will bring some type of positivity to somebody else. So I'm giving you guys lots of love, lots of support. Again, I appreciate you being here, and I am so excited for you guys to tune into the next episode. So, if you guys are tuning in on YouTube, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you're just listening on the podcast, download, send to somebody else. It may be helpful to another new mom. And yeah. Again, you guys are doing amazing. You got this mom thing under control. And I am signing off with lots of love.